I'm here with Jean-Paul Bureau of FAIR. Jean-Paul, I want to use this segment of the interview to run through the different fees and get your take on some of them. Let's start with MERs, management expense ratios. There are four components. We have a board that's going to come up. Typically, these fees run around 2%. Sometimes they're higher, sometimes they're lower. Let's talk about the overall the MER fees.
Yeah, so let me first, I think it's important to give some context. MERs are a specific type of fee that when you buy a mutual fund, for example, you will be paying this fee. What's important to remember about MERs, which stands for Management Expense Ratio, are a couple things. One is you pay them indirectly. They don't come out of your account, they come out of your investment funds. The second thing to remember is they're paid not in a dollar amount, but as a percentage. And so what you're basically paying for is if you own a mutual fund, for example, somebody has to manage the fund, and they obviously incur costs. Some of that relate to the administration of the fund. Some of it is to manage the picking of the portfolio that's in the fund. There's legal fees, accounting fees, administrative fees, all kinds of fees that are associated with operating a mutual fund. And all of that goes to the manager of the fund. And like I said, it's usually expressed in terms of a ratio. So it might be 1 to 3%. And what that means is if the fund has like $10 million in it, and the MER is about 2%, the fund manager will be taking $200,000 in fees. And that is ultimately money that's coming to your pocket.
Yeah. What about trailer fees? I want to get your thoughts on this one because this is a controversial one, right? This is money that goes to your investment dealer or advisor, supposedly for investment advice.
Yeah, so trailing commissions are a component of the MER, and they range from about a 0.25 percentage point to 1%. And what it is, it's the fund manager who takes money out of the fund and pays the different people that have sold you that fund. And the purpose of trailing commissions is to pay for ongoing advice and services that individual is supposed to be providing you. And again, it can add up quite significantly over time. One way to think about MERs and trailing commissions, and you might think 1% is not all that significant, but if you think about your mortgage, and you think about the difference between paying a 3% rate on your mortgage versus a 2% rate, I think most people would understand that's a significant difference that can really add up over time. Well, the same principle applies when it comes to MERs and trailing commissions.
And I don't think, Jean-Paul, people argue that they shouldn't pay for, professional management and advice as long as they're getting it. I thought what was very interesting, because you and I had a quick conversation before this interview, was the self-directed ones. And they also have these trailing fees, which actually doesn't make sense, does it?
Right. It doesn't make any sense. And in fact, again, the purpose of the trailing fee is for the fund who's paying your advisor to give you ongoing advice. When you have a self-directed account, you're taking full control of your investment decisions. You are not getting advice. So in those situations, when you do buy a mutual fund that has a trailing commission, why should the firm that you're dealing with, that you have your self-directed account have, why should they be getting 1%? They're not providing you with any advice. And this has been a big problem in Canada. And a lot of investors have lost money as a result. And the regulators finally took action. And a bit of good news is that effective next summer, June 1st, these types of trailing commissions, when you are buying through a self-directed account, will be banned.
Okay, so that is coming. That change is coming in June, you said, or in the summer?
It will take effect on June 1st, 2022. We would encourage people, though, in the meantime, not to just wait for it, but to talk to the firm and ask the firm to stop collecting that trailing commission, because they're getting paid for a service they are not providing you.